Welcome back to part 2 of our journey through the Tree of Life and the Tree of Death. In our first episode, we explored Malkuth, the kingdom, and its shadow, Lilith. Together, they revealed the importance of grounding ourselves in the material world, while integrating the shadow of desire and temptation. This was our first step in the initiation into the dark feminine, the power of transformation that comes from facing the unknown within. Today, we rise to the next level. Yesod, the foundation of the Tree of Life, and its shadow reflection, Gamaliel, the Obscene Ones of the Qliphoth. This is where the realm of dreams, imagination, and sexuality comes into play, and where the dark feminine shows her most seductive and dangerous face. Yesod is the 9th sephira, known as the foundation. It represents the subconscious mind, dreams, imagination, sexuality, and the power of manifestation. Where Malkuth is physical reality, Yesod is the bridge, the realm where thoughts, emotions, and archetypes take shape before manifesting in the material world. In our lives, Yesod shows up in our creativity, our dreams, our sexual energy, and our ability to channel the unseen into reality. It is deeply tied to the moon, reflective, mysterious, and cyclical. A healthy Yesod brings clarity, intuition, and a grounded imagination that fuels creation rather than illusion. But every light casts a shadow. The reflection of Yesod is Gamaliel, the realm of twisted dreams, sexual distortion, and illusion. Gamaliel is known as the Obscene Ones. Where Yesod inspires imagination, Gamaliel corrupts it into delusion. Where Yesod channels sexual energy as creative power, Gamaliel twists it into obsession, addiction, or exploitation. In daily life, Gamaliel manifests as false fantasies, manipulation, pornography addiction, gaslighting, or living inside illusions disconnected from reality. It is when the subconscious becomes a trap instead of a foundation. Yesod and Gamaliel are psychological forces we live with every day. The healthy Yesod shows up when we use imagination to inspire, when our sexuality is empowering rather than destructive, and when our dreams help us build rather than escape. Gamaliel shows up when illusions control us, when we lie to ourselves or others, when fantasies replace reality, or when seduction becomes a weapon of exploitation rather than connection. For example, an actor with a strong Yesod channels emotion into performance, inspiring audiences. But an actor lost in Gamaliel manipulates, deceives, or loses themselves in their own false persona. The shadow doesn't just hurt them. It ripples outward, affecting everyone they interact with. How do we overcome Gamaliel's traps? The first step is recognition. Carl Jung reminds us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Practically, this means noticing when we're slipping into self-deception, fantasy, or manipulation. We must ask, am I using imagination to build, or am I escaping reality? Am I using sexuality to connect, or to control? Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power also offers wisdom here. Law 27 warns, play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. This is Gamaliel at work, the power of illusion and seduction. But when used consciously and ethically, Law 6, court attention at all cost. And Law 34, be royal in your own fashion, align with Yesod, the ability to project vision, inspire, and manifest. Thus, the remedy is conscious use of imagination and desire, paired with discipline, grounding, and integrity. Yesod and Gamaliel bring us face to face with the dark feminine. Lilith's first initiation was about desire in the physical world. Now Gamaliel tests us in the realm of illusion and seduction. The dark feminine is both destructive and transformative. If we fear her, we fall into her traps. If we integrate her, she becomes a source of power, teaching us to use sexuality as creative fire, imagination as vision, and illusion as art instead of deception. When the light and shadow of the feminine are balanced, we no longer fear our desires or our subconscious. We master them, and through that mastery, we radiate authenticity and strength. So far on our journey, we've descended into Malkuth and faced Lilith, the shadow of desire in the material world. Now we've risen into Yesod, confronting Gamaliel, the shadow of illusion and distorted sexuality. The lesson is clear. To transform, we must recognize the shadows of imagination and desire, then integrate them into conscious creation. The dark feminine initiation shows us that power is not found in rejecting the shadow, but in dancing with it, with awareness, discipline, and integrity. Next time we ascend higher on the tree, continuing this path of shadow and light. Until then, reflect. Where does illusion control me? And how can I turn my imagination into a foundation, not a prison?